Hey guys, it's Tolga SERT and today I'm gonna talk about recording drums with cheap microphones in a rooms with mediocre treatment. Today's test is the reason why I published this YouTube channel, because I'm currently working with cheap microphones like Ashton DMP100 drum microphone set. Also, I'm using T-Bone SC140 for overhead purpose. I have a Beta 57 for snare top and SM57 for snare bottom, which is kinda industrial benchmark, but always there are better ones. Also, I'm using Roland trigger heads with Roland TM2 for trigger purpose. And when I built this room, I heard a few problems, especially after spending a few hours on the rehearsals. And I tried some different configurations, some unorthodox configurations actually. And today I'm gonna show the outcomes of it to you. First of all, you will hear a snare bottom microphone with kick sound coming from the trigger module only. It's an on and off test. All of those are on and off tests. I think you can hear the wire sound when we play the kick drums. It sounds like you are pounding the snare all the time when we listen the full mix. So when we close it, obviously we will hear only the trigger sound, the kick drum sound. Now let's hear the kick, snare top and snare bottom microphones. We will make on and off the snare bottom microphone. So when we gate the snare drum, we are hearing the kick sound comes from the trigger, and only hear the snare top microphone when there's a hit. So you don't need a snare bottom mic for the beefy sound. Also, that's what I will do. You can blend the snare microphone with samples. You can use blend snare sounds on your mix as well. So removing snare bottom mic is solved one of my problems. Then my next problem was the hi-hat sound. Actually, I have a really bad hi-hat, which is Sabian SBR series hi-hat, and you know the sound of it if you ever played it. I was using a condenser OHC100 Ashton microphone to miking up the hi-hat. It was a bad decision. Then I tried this SM7B first, and later I used the SM57, which have the same capsule with SM7B. Let's hear it. It was the hi-hat track only, and I think you can hear all the metal noises, all the ringings comes with the condenser microphone. SM7B sounds more focused, I guess. It isolates all the other stuff. So it also worked for me. And there's the hi-hat microphone test with snare and kick drum as well. Then I investigate the overhead microphone positions. I used the SC140 as two overheads right above the drums. Then I used those microphones just to record the crash from under. First, I want to hear the bleed in the SC140s comes from the kick and snare drum. And here's the kick bleed on the microphones with different positions. I think you can hear the much more release when I used those microphones above the drums. And there's the snare bleed. I think the main reason of the release difference is the direction of the microphones, because when you use the overheads like this, the microphones looking directly to the drums, the snare, the kick. But when you turn the microphone just record the crashes, then the microphone will have a less reaction to the sound comes from the snare and drums. Then let's hear the actual cymbals on the microphones with different positions. So before closing the video, I want to summarize the outcomes for me. First of all, we are recording metal, and I think we don't need additional microphones just for sounding it more beefy. There are two reasons of it. First of all, we are pounding the drums, not the cymbals, but pounding the drums really hard. So you don't need to push the hits with less power. And the second reason, you can always blend the drums with samples. I think metal is most compatible genre for those type of production. So removing a snare bottom microphone was a yes for me, because if I can record a clean DI with lesser noise with a sample, the sound will be huge, but it will still contains the human feeling. Also, if you have a small room with lower ceiling, the sound that goes to overhead microphones won't work well. Recording cymbals one by one, then using an IR or a reverb plugin, maybe playing the final record in a huge room and recording those sounds used for room purpose will make your drum sound much more clearer, I think. Sadly, I don't have videos of the process, because I just tried it out, then I decided to put it on YouTube, create a YouTube channel. So I can't show you a full in-mix A/B test with two different configuration, but here's the last version of the drums with a rough mix. I need to mention again, it's not a final result, it's not the absolute truth. It might sound bad for you too, because I'm trying to figure out. I'm not a producer, I'm not a recording engineer, I'm just trying. So don't forget to share your thoughts and recommendations on the comments. Thanks, see ya. So I will play each of them one by one, then I play the whole drum kit. Of course, those shell kit needs a better head with a fine tuning. Here's the trigger sound with a hint of bleed comes from the other microphones.